What makes a good landscape painting? Or what makes a good painting? That's a challenging question to answer. Let me talk about a particular painting, and it's Beach Houses at Lord's Point. I think, first of all, the same qualities in a work of art make a good painting. They make a good still life, they make a good landscape, they make a good portrait. And part of that is excellence in technique. I think an artist needs to know how to handle their medium. So that's part of it. But then there's all the other aspects that make good art, such as the composition, ability to control color, the artist's ability to lead the viewer into the painting. All of these things work together to create a good painting and a good landscape. So I was moving around the beach and I was focusing on a tide pool and I was looking at the crashing waves against the rocks. And then I got behind some of the rocks and noticed a beautiful tide pool. The tide pool was perfectly still. And because I was behind the rocks, I can no longer hear the activity of the crashing waves. It muffles that noise. It was gorgeous. It was a gorgeous place to be, a beautiful moment in time. I started taking some pictures, and I sort of had a sense that just because of how I was responding to what I was looking at, that this was going to become a painting, and it did. And like I said, it became a painting that took a Best in Show and an honorable mention. So it wasn't just me that thought this was a beautiful scene, it was other people that realized the work I'd created also carried meaning and interest for other people. First, I think of what carries this painting is the composition, how I've worked the light and the dark in the painting. I realized when I was painting the rocks in the foreground and on the side in this painting, I was really working with cool and warm colors to create the different planes of the rocks. And the reflection in the tide pool was painted in, and the house behind. As I was working on the painting, the last thing to come together was actually the foreground, and I remember thinking, good grief, what if I don't get it? So sometimes as an artist, you do have to kind of step off the edge and take a risk because you're not sure if it's going to work, but you have to step forward and take that risk and do the finishing details, and also not overwork a painting. So those are some things that make a good painting.